Hi, this is Mrs. Cusick, and today I want to show you some basics about using Excel. So the very first thing that I do when I use Excel is I change the viewing size. You could put it at 200%, but the other thing that I like to do is put it at actually 250%. So these are called cells, and cells are referred to by names, A1, B1, or C2. So let me show you just some basics. This whole thing is called a workbook, and within the workbook there are worksheets as indicated on the bottom. You can create another worksheet if you like. You can always rename these worksheets by double-clicking them, and we could even type class demo. If you want to change the color, you can right-click, remember on a mouse we use Control and click. You can change the color of that tab, and you can also delete the worksheets by right-clicking as well. And it will ask you, are you sure? So let's get started and to use Excel. So if I have content, a mouse cursor does a lot of different things. So for example, if I have a number in there, I can move that content around with a hand. I can select data like that with an open plus sign. I can always use, and I'll move it back over. What's neat about Excel is that it recognizes patterns. So for example, if I wanted to do something like this, I can use my fill command, which is selected by placing your cursor in the bottom right hand corner around that little handle, and you get a dark plus sign. You pull it down and it'll understand a pattern. So if you had to provide information for an entire month, such as charting the weather, and you wanted to create those days on the calendar, you can use the fill command. You could also do the same thing for something like Monday, Tuesday, and it will recognize that pattern. It also works with names, and it would just keep repeating those over and over again. Now what's great about Excel is that it does have the ability to add quickly. You can't do mental math as quickly as this can work. So I position my cursor underneath the column that I want to add. I pull down the auto formula button and I want to add. What that is saying is that the equal sign says that it wants to perform a calculation, and that's a universal symbol in any spreadsheet software. So equals, perform a calculation, sum means add, and the content around the parentheses is called the range. So we're adding cells A1 through A10. Press the enter key and the number automatically appears. Why this is so awesome, let's say I want to change a number. Let's say that was 500. Now it readjusted my formula. You can see that there are other formulas that you can use. Feel free to play around with those, but it is a really nice feature. You should always use formulas. The format of that cell isn't the way that I want it to be. So on our Home tab, I go over to the Numbers group and I click on the comma feature. Now, I may not want those decimal places, so all you have to do is play with these increase or decrease decimal and get it to the way that you want. To clear content, if I press delete, this is how long this is going to take me. Forever. Rather than do it that way, I can select an area, go over to this edit group on my Home tab, and clear all the content. Much simpler, much easier. Oh, and don't forget that this cursor can increase column widths or row height. If you want to preview something, how it's going to look on when it's printed, you can go up to File and Print, and it'll give you this preview. If it's too small for you, you can always go to this PDF preview, and you can look at it and say, oh, I really don't like that. So you could add borders if you like. So to add borders in spreadsheets, select what you want, go to the font area, it's just like Microsoft Word, and you can pick all borders. If you don't want all the borders on, you would have to go back, select the content, and then tell it no border. And this concludes Excel Basics.